afternoon. English first two chapters. Yeah, then first part we discuss what is the statistic, those things. Then second chapter we discuss types of variables, levels of measurements, and what are the data sources, primary, secondary. Yeah, then how we collect the primary data. Then how we use the secondary data we discuss. Okay. The third chapter we study. Then in the statistical process, first step is collecting data. Okay, then organize and the present. Okay, then today we discuss second step and the third step. Okay, then now finish collecting part. Then we discuss how we do the data collection. Okay, based on the objective, we use primary or secondary data. Then how we do? We explain. Okay, then today we move into how to present the categorical data. Categorical variable means what? Give me another name for that. We discussed in the last today. Then what are the main two types of variables? Quantitative and the qualitative. Then which one is the categorical variable? Qualitative. Okay, then qualitative variables cannot be measured as numerically. It consists with the categorical response. Okay. Then here in this session we will study how we present the categorical variable. Mainly two methods are there. First method, we can use the tabulation method format. Tabulation means tables. You can use the table format to represent the data. Second method is you can use different charts or graph. Okay. First, we move into the tabulation method. Tabulation means table. Okay. Then here, then how we define the tabulation? Normally, how we what is the tabulation? How we explain it? Using the tabulation format, how we present the data. Anyone ask what is the table? How we tell the answer? Here, tabulation method means here we represent the data using rows and the columns. Okay, in the table, rows and columns are there. Okay, then vertical axis we call as columns, horizontal axis rows. Okay, in the table consists rows and the columns. Then how we define tabulation or table? It means we can represent the data using the rows and the columns. Here, then why we use the tabulation method? Okay, then what are the objectives of the tabulation? When we represent the data using the rows and columns, it means using the tabulation format. Okay, then what are the objectives? Why we use the tabulation method? Using the table format, main thing is we can summarize our data set. Okay, then using a lot of data, we can summarize it using the table form. Clear? Then other thing is we can do the comparison between the different types of variables. We can do the comparison. Then we assume first column. Then here we take the simple example. Then here levels of education are there, O level, A level, graduate, postgraduate. Okay, then here we can do the comparison between the education levels. We can identify that here total is 7, 22, 17 and 16. We can say most of the respondents are studied up to the A. The way we can say no, then we can do a comparison between the different types or within the categories, among the categories of the particular variable. It's clear? Then here, this side, males and the females, we can do the comparison. It's clear? This is the second objective in the tabulation format. The next one is Here, using the tabulation format, we can identify the association. It means we can identify are there any relationship between the variables. Here, okay. The next one is to facilitate the statistical inference and to help reference. Normally, when we run the statistical test using the software, all the output given at the tabulation form. Okay, no any paragraph are there, no any sentences are there. All the outputs, okay, then software is given as the tabulation form. Then other thing is when we preparing any assignment or something, we insert references. Okay, then we insert the table at the reference. It's clear. These are the objectives of the tabulation method. Then we move into different types of table format. Okay. First format is frequency table. Here, frequency means what? This means of the frequency. If you know about what is the frequency, tell me how we define frequency. Yeah, then here frequency means number of occurs is variable. Okay. Then here frequency table, then normally frequency table, using the frequency table, we can represent one categorical variable. Okay. Then here first row, we list down what are the categories of the particular variable. We take gender. Gender is a qualitative variable. It is a categorical variable. Then first column, we identify what are the categories of that particular variable. What are the categories? Male and the female. Clear? Then second column, we represent the frequency. How many respondents are male and how many respondents are female. This table we call as what? Frequency table. Clear? Okay, then this says a frequency table lists the categories in one column and the amount of frequency in different columns. We call it as frequency table. This is the example for the frequency table. Then these are the expressions output. Okay, then looking at the first table, first example, tell me what is the categorical variable in here? What is the categorical variable in here? First frequency table, what is the categorical variable in here? Levels of education. The variables are not first tabulation format. First frequency table representing levels of education. Okay. Then looking at the first column, it represents what? Categories of the particular variable. Okay, then here we need to represent the levels of education. Then we list out O level, A level, graduate, and the postgraduate. Okay, then second column represents what? Frequency. How many respondents who studied up to O level, then who studied up to A level? How many respondents have bachelor degree? How many respondents have completed the postgraduate degree? Here. Then next two columns, it gives the percentage value. Valid percentage and the percentage value. Two percentage values are there. The reason is they normally collect the data using the questionnaire method. Most of the time we use the questionnaire method to collect the primary data. Okay, then assume then we distribute the questionnaire to 50 respondents, but only we receive 45. Then how many data are missing? Okay, then 5 data are missing. When we calculate the percentage value, we consider total number of 50 respondents and take the percentage value. But when we calculate the valid percentage, we consider only the valid response. How many valid responses are there? 45. Then we calculate the percentage. It's clear. This is the mean of the percentage and the valid percentage. The last column represents the cumulative percentage. Cumulative is total summation. And then first one represents 8.4. It means 8.4% of the respondents are who have completed up to the O level. Then move to the second one, 42.1. It means it consists what? O level and A level both. Now clear? The second one is 42.1. Cumulative percentage up to the A level 42.1. The last column, second value 42.1. It is the total value up to the A level. It means it consists respondents who studied up to the O level and the A level too. Then over to the third one, 76.8. Here, then 76.8% of the respondents who have completed up to O level, A level, and the tertiary. All clear in here. Here, the last point, 100%. Why? In the fourth category, fourth cumulative percentage value consists all for. It's clear. Okay, here we find out this way. First one is 8.4, then 8.4 plus 33.7, 42.1. It gives the total value. Clear? Then 42.1 plus 34.7, 76.8. It's clear? Okay, then it's the way we can find out the cumulative. And then the important thing is you will study how we interpret this output. How many we do not get the tabulation format manually. We can use the software, we can use the Excel, then we can get the output. Important thing is how we interpret this thing. Here when we are doing the analysis or any study, first part we need to do the descriptive analysis. In the descriptive part, normally we can insert tabulation. Okay, normally we can insert different charts or graph, then calculate the summary measures. Those three parts include. Okay, then firstly we can insert and assume then in our questionnaire we collect the data from the respondents regarding their gender, level of income, those things. Okay, how we represent it? We can insert frequency table. Okay, then represent the frequencies of the each gender pattern. We can insert. Then using the statistical software, we can get the tabulation format, but interpretation is not there. We need to interpret the result. Now clear? Okay. The next one, what is the variable in here? Second one. What is the categorical variable in here? What is the variable in the second one? Variety of anything. Then first column represents what are the categories? Furniture and the brassware. Okay, then here looking at total 87, but missing 5 values are there. Then what is the grand total? 92. It means we distributed 92 questionnaires to respondents, but 87 respondents only completed this question. Do not complete this question, 5 are missing. Here, 87 respondents only complete this question. Okay, then 5 respondents didn't select the answer for this particular question. That is the meaning of the missing and the total. It's clear? Okay, then here valid responses only 87. Totally 92 data sets we have, but this question is missed 5 responses. Clear? Okay. Questionnaire එක අපි 92 වලට බෙදලා තිබ්බට 87 විතරයි මේ question එකට answer කරලා තියෙන්නේ. අනිත් පස්සේ නම මේක blank තියෙනවා. Now clear? That's the meaning of the missing. Okay. Then system identifies how many missing values are there. Automatically they find. Now you studied frequency table. If we have only one categorical variable, we can use the normal frequency table. Assume if we have two categorical variables. Okay? Then normally when we use the frequency table, we need to take two frequency tables to represent the two categorical variables. But there is option we can create one table using both categorical variables. This kind of tables we call as what? Cross-tabulation. Okay, then system inside these two variables, we need to create one variable. Then we can get the output using the software. It's clear? This table we call as cross-tabulation. Here, using the cross-tabulation, we can identify the relationship between the given variable. Okay, then here, looking at this example, how many variables are there? How many categorical variables are present? Two. What are the two categorical variables? Gender and the level of education. Here only two categorical variables are there. This cross-tabulation, we can say two-way table. Okay, why? There are only two categorical variables, then we can say two-way table. Then here, row-wise represent what? Gender category, column-wise level of education. Then how we interpret this table? That's the important thing. Then how we interpret these values? We select one value, 22. Okay? Then how we interpret this 22? Then when we insert this table to our research or any study, then we need to interpret it. Then how we interpret this value? Then 22, how we interpret? Here we should consider about the both variables. Okay, then we looking at the 22. Gender category is female. Level of education is person. Then how can we represent this date 22? How we interpret it? And we can say there are 22 female graduates. Clear? Okay, then 22 female undergraduates. No, then we can say there are 22 female graduates. Understood? Then we take 5, first number 5. Then gender category is male. Level of education is O level. And then we can say there are only 5 respondents who have studied up to the O level. Clear? The way we can interpret the result. Then otherwise, this table represents the total values. Then tell me, looking at this table, and tell me how many respondents are there? Total number of respondents. Total number of respondents are there. 95. Okay, then total female respondents are there. 60. Then you can clearly identify total value also using the tabulation form. Summarize this data. It's there. Okay. Then we can do the comparison between gender wise. Yeah. Yes or no? We can do the comparison. Then we can say most of the respondents are female. Okay. Then we take the level of education wise. Most of the respondents are graduates. We can say no. 33 graduates are there. Then we can say most of the respondents are graduates. Clear? Then it is the way we can interpret the results. Then looking at this one, here how many variables are there? Variables are there. Gender, level of education, bandwidth house or not. Okay, they identify 3 types. Okay, 3 categorical variables are there. Then this cross tabulation we call as 3-way table. Okay, then we normally say a contingent table also. Cross-tabulation and the contingent table are similar. Remember those things. Sometimes we use the contingent table. Cross-tabulation both are same. And then it consists three variables. We call it as three variables. Then here, now this table shows three categorical variables and the total value. Row total, column total, and the grand totals are there. Okay. Then how we interpret this result? Now we need to consider about three categorical variables. How we interpret. About this table. Do not tell total number of questions. One second. How many data are there? 30 numbers are there. No, data are there. This one second. Then number 7 represent level of education is graduate, gender is male, and they have land with a house. Yes, category means they have land with a house. And how we interpret this 7? There are 7 male graduates who have land with a house. Here, they interpret this point. We need to consider all three categories of it. Here, then we take number 9. Number 9, we can say there are 9 female graduates who have land with us. Okay. Then otherwise we can say we take this total value also we can interpret. Total values, then here 33 respondents are there who have land with a house. Okay, 33 respondents have land with a house. It's here, okay. Now looking at this table, this is the complete cross tabulation. You can download it from the LMS. Then looking at this table. Tell me here how many variables are there. Any category of variables are there. We can include that means 3. Yeah, how many? What are the 3? Millions to Americans. Only 2 variables, gender and their marital status. Okay, then we here column wise represent the gender, row wise represent the marital status. Only 2 categorical variables are there. It's clear? Then move into the first part. Okay, then here first one says marital status is single category. Then we take single category. Okay, then here first part. Then here count is 21. Okay, then it means what? First number 21. What is it? 21. There are 21 male married employees. Okay. Answer will be there. Okay. The next one is count 30. It means there are 30 female single employees. Okay, single female. Nice one. Okay, first tell me first. Normally tell the marital status. The next one is count first. The next one they calculate the percentage value. Okay, then percentage within marital status. And then they calculate the percentage value within the marital status. It means they identify how many single employees are there. Then calculate out of that how many males and how many females. Now here, then tell me total number of single employees are there. How many single employees are there? 51. Then 21 are male, 30 are female. Then how we calculate the percentage value? 21 divided by 51 into 1. Other one 30 divided by 51 into 1. They calculate that value within the marital status. Okay, then how we interpret this value? First one is 41.2%. How we interpret it? Then we can say 41.2% of single employees are male. So then we take the single employees, then 41.2% of it male. It's clear? The next one is 58.8%. 58.8% within marital status, their gender category is female. Then how we say 58.8% of single employees are female. Now clear? This is the way we can interpret it. Okay? Within marital status, then we take total number of single employees, then we calculate proportion of male and female. Now clear? Then move to the third one. Percentage within gender. Then here they consider about the gender ones. Then first column represent the male. Then it means we take all the male employees. Then they calculate what percentage of them are single. Then tell me how many male respondents are there, male employees are there. 71. Okay. Then out of that 21 are single. That's the meaning. Okay. Then 21 over 71 into 100. What's the percentage value? 29.6%. Okay. Then how we interpret it? 29.6% of male employees are single. Right? Within gender. Then we looking at what is the gender category. Then identify total number of male employees are there. Then we identify what percentage of the single. Okay. The next one is 23.3%. Then here what is the category? Female. Okay. Then it means 23.3% of female employees are single. Now clear? This is the way we can interpret it. Okay. Then tell me 10.5%. What is it? 10.5% within total value. Then total number of employees are there. What is total number of employees? 200. Okay. Then out of that, 21 male and the single. Okay. Then calculate the percentage. 10.5%. 21 over 200 into 100, 10.5%. Then how we interpret it? 10.5% of the employees are single and female. There we take all the employees. Okay. Out of that, 21 employees are there. They male and the single. It's clear? Okay. This is the way we can interpret the percentage values also. Now clear? Okay. Normally in the descriptive analysis part, we can do the comparison between these categories and we can write. Okay. Then here I mentioned only 4 things. First one is majority of married employees are female. 2 or none. These are the conclusions we can make in here. Majority of married employees. Then married employees. Then majority are female. It's true, no? Okay, then we can say majority of married employees are female. Okay, the next one. Majority of female employees are married. Then we take female category. Then here 4, here 5, here 90 and here 30. It means most of the female employees are married. It's clear? Then third point. They have no widowed male employees in the South. Then widow category is female. Only 6% employees are widowed or divorced. 6% of the employees here. 2.5% are widowed. 3.5% are divorced. Altogether 6%, no? 2.5% widowed. 3.5% divorced. Altogether 6%. Then we can say 6% of the employees are widowed or divorced. Clear? Okay. Then we can say most of the employees are married. Okay. Then 137 married employees are there. Okay. Then this is the way we can interpret the data under the descriptive analysis. One by one we do not need to interpret. Okay. Overall conclusion we need to write. Understood what are the special characteristics we can identify using this data set. Understood? Okay, then we look in at the numbers and the percentage value. Then we write down the overall thing about the given data set. Clear? No need one by one. Okay? Then we discuss tabulation format. Okay, then we discuss frequency table and the cross tabulation. Okay, then normally if we have only one categorical variable, we can move into the frequency table. Otherwise, we need to insert cross tabulation. A two-way table or three-way table. Normally, complete tabulation format it consists frequency, percentage value, total value, and the grand total. Then second one, the first method we can use to present the categorical variables using the tabulation format. Second method, how we present it using charts and the graph. Okay, then different types of diagrammatic presentations are there. Moving to first one, you know about these charts. But the first one, simple bar chart. Okay, then only we have one categorical variable. Then we can insert the simple bar chart. Then here it represents only the levels of education. Okay, only one categorical variable, simple bar chart. At once we can represent one categorical variable. It's clear? Okay, then here normally we can insert horizontal way and the vertical way. This is the vertical way, simple bar chart. Vertical. Okay, then height of each bar represent what? Frequency. Okay, then looking at this chart, we can say most of the respondents are graduate. We can say, okay, then we can do the comparison between the categories. Then we take O level and the A level. Okay, how we can compare? Most of the respondents are studied up to the A level than the O level. It's clear? This is the way we can interpret it. Then this is the horizontal representation. Simple bar chart. Horizontally, we write down the level. Okay. The next one is, then assume if we have more than one categorical variable, we cannot insert the simple bar chart. We have two categorical variables. Then we insert simple bar chart. What happens? We need to insert two different simple bar charts representing each variable. But then assume we need to insert one chart to represent the both categorical variables. Then we can move into what? Multiple bar chart. Okay, multiple bars are there. Okay, then first one it consists only single bar represent one category. Then here, then this chart represents level of education by gender. Okay, then mainly we consider about the levels of education. Each category we divided by gender. Now clear? Then here only one disadvantage is there. It is it. Then here we cannot take the grand total of the each levels of education. Okay, let's see. Then first one is O level category. Okay, directly we can identify how many total respondents are in this category. We can by separating them. First we need to identify how many males are there, then how many females, then add them together, then we need to identify the total. It's clear? Then here we can say green color male of 5'3", then 8. Directly we cannot identify. It means here using the multiple bar chart we cannot do the comparison between level of education. But we can do the comparison within the level of education. Levels of education සතර comparison එකක් කරන්න බෑ නේද? Why? It not represent the total value. Okay, but within the levels of education, within the O-level category, we can say most of them are male. Within the A-level category, we can say most of them are female. Understood? But we cannot conduct easily comparison between the levels of education. Understood? Okay, then this is the disadvantage. Then we can minimize this advantage using the compound bar chart, or we can say subdivided bar chart. Okay, then here also we can use to represent two or more than two categorical variables. Here we take levels of education. Okay, then each category we divide it. Clear? O level category, first we identify how many of them are completed up to the O level, then we divide into gender one. Looking at. Now we can do the comparison between the levels of education. Okay, then looking at this chart, then we can say most of them are graduates. Least number of respondents are who have completed up to the O level. Now we can directly do the comparison between the levels of education. But here we cannot do it. Now clear? Based on our objective, we need to decide the insert multiple bars are the subdivided bars. Understood? Then our objective is do the comparison between levels of education. Then we need to insert subdivided bars. We need to do the comparison between levels of education. Then we need to insert multiple bars. Understood? Based on the objective, we need to select the correct chart. What number of charts are there? Okay, then based on our objective, then our goal, then we need to select which one is the appropriate. Just two charts. Okay. Then other one is, you know this one, pie chart. Okay, then here using the pie chart, we can represent only one categorical variable. Normally this data represent as the percentage value. Okay, then each slice represent the one category. Then this here, then we take the one level, one variable gender. Okay, then here gender, the two categories are there, male and the female. Then the slice represent the one category. Clear? Then the last diagram is, it's a new one, I think. Line chart, line graph. Okay. Then here, when we need to represent the time series data set, we use line graph. Time series data set. Time series data. If this variable changing according to the time period, we then assume that we need to represent the profit for the last 10 years. Last 10 years, 2014 to 2023. We assume, okay, then there are 10 years, so then we need to represent the profit for the last 10 years. Then which chart we use? Balance. Understood? Then this example represent the wave prime rate for each year. Okay, then particular variable changing according to the time period, we call it as time series data. We use the line chart to represent it. Okay, then population for the last 10 years, normally we use the line chart. Okay. Then these are the different charts and the graph now. Then we move into what are the things we should consider about. Okay. Then first one, when we insert the charts, what's the important thing? Title. Must have a title. Okay, we insert the chart or graph, you should name it, label it. It's here. Okay, then normally we insert that the figure. Then you need to mention what is it. Then this one is bar chart of group of the audience size. There is a label. Okay. The next one is normally in every chart. Okay. Then the pie chart is not there, but other chart consists two axes, x-axis and the y-axis. Normally, if we have two variables, independent variable represent the x-axis, dependent variable represent the y-axis. Now you know independent and the dependent. We studied last week. Okay. Then we take the sales and the advertising expenditure. Then advertising expenditure independent one, it represents as the x by sales. Okay. Then other one is when we use the line chart, we can insert several variables. Okay, but we use different colors or patterns, differentiate each. Okay, then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 variables are there. How we differentiate? Using different colors open. Okay. When we assume there is a particular company, then that company has 3 branches. You need to represent profit for the last 10 years of each branch. Then we can insert lines. Using 3 different colors, you can show these are the profit values for the last 10 years of each branch. Using one line chart, you can represent. Okay. Then another one is label axis. What is the y-axis and what is the x-axis? Here x-axis is business year, y-axis is number of dots. So normally we take the charts using the Excel. First you take the chart, there is an addition sign, we click it. They ask you need to insert the label axis or title of the chart. Okay, then you need to add the frequency. Okay, we can add. It's the way. The last one is all lettering horizontal. Okay, then lettering. Then first one is bring label. You can write this way. You cannot write the letters one by one. Okay. Then this is the bring now. Then you cannot write B. Then R-I-N-G. It's wrong. Okay. Then these things you should memorize when we insert the different charts or graph. Table also. When we insert the table, title is marks. Understood? Okay, then this is the way we can represent the presentation of the categorical variable. Okay, then normally in every study, first part we collect the data about the demographic factors, their age or gender, income level, those things. Okay, then how we represent this data in our study? Can use the tabulation format and the graphical methods to represent it. We can insert different charts or data. It's clear. Okay, then this thing important to the descriptive analysis part. No any questions? Now sleep, Next week we will start the calculation part. Okay. Then you will bring your scientific calculators. Alfie have no scientific calculator. No. Then you will bring it. Okay. Then here the reason is using the scientific calculator. I will teach you how to calculate the mean standard deviation. And most of them are in the already. Calculators are available. Then second chapter is presentation of quantitative data. Now you know quantitative variables. Okay. Then variables can be measured as numerically. We call as quantitative. Then first part, when we collect the data, okay, then we have no any arrangement, then we call as what? Raw data. We collect the marks for the statistics subject from the intake 18. Then we list down the marks for each student. Then this one is raw data. Why? There is no any specific arrangement. Yeah, according to the index number, we write down the marks for each student. There is no any systematically arranged. There is no any systematic arrangement. This data set we called as raw data. In this example shows that one. Consider the marks scored by 50 students in the mid-semester examination. Normally we list down all the marks. No any systematic arrangement. It's clear? Okay. Then other way, then here using the raw data, we cannot make any conclusion about it. Then here, at least we cannot identify what is the highest mark. You can't easily get the what is the highest mark. You can't. Okay, then we need to arrange this raw data set as the ascending or descending order. Then we called as data array. Okay, then take the raw data set, we arrange it ascending or descending order. Ascending means minimum numbers to the maximum number. Descending order means maximum to minimum. Okay, then here we arrange it. Then now looking at this data set, You can identify what is the highest mark. 50. Okay, then how many of them are got the 50 marks? 3. What is the lowest mark in here? Then how many students got the 30 marks? Then you can say nothing. But raw data set, when we study the raw data set, you cannot do it. But using the data array, we can. It's clear. Then here you can identify some values are repeated. Okay. Then 530 values are there, 232 values are there. Okay. Then other way we can summarize it as the ungrouped data distribution. Then here, first we take the 30. How many 30? 530 values. Okay. Then 30 in 5 times. Then we can say marks 30. How many students got 30 marks? 5 students. It's clear? Then next one is 32. How many students got 32? 2. Then we can say mark is 32. Then 2 students got 32 marks. Okay, then we can summarize it. Now we use the tabulation format. Okay, we can do the summarize the given data set. It's clear? Okay. කරන්නද මම next එක කරන්න. right? අපර සොන්ඩ උදේ මාකට. අමාවේ ගලිය. දැන් break එකක් කරන්න යන්නද? ඔඩම් මොඩේ කොහොමද කියලා රිෆ්‍රෙෂ්. චුටි break එකක්. ඒකට මුක්ත කරන්නේ මේ පාඩමේ උඩට පස්සේ කැල්කියුලේෂන් තියෙනවා. ඒකට පාඩම කරන්න Okay. Shall we start now? The next one is, now you studied ungroup 1. Then move into the group data distribution. Here in the ungroup 1, we can clearly identify what are the individual observation bands. Okay. We can identify 30, 32. These are the marks students got. But in here, we take all the individual marks and group together. Then here, first group is 60 to 62. This is another example. Okay, not the same one. Then 63 to 65. Here we consider the group. Then we identify how many respondents are there. Okay, then we assume these are marks. Then it means 5 students got 60 to 62 marks. Maybe 60 or 61 or 62. We do not know. It's clear. Then second one, 63 to 65. How many students? Here, 80. It's clear. This format we called as group data distribution. Now clear? This we called as group data distribution. Okay. Then here, these groups we called as what? Class interval. You studied in Sinhala Panthi Prantara. Okay. Then these are class intervals. First class interval is 60 to 62. Second class interval 63 to 65. These things important to the next lesson. Okay. Summary measures. We require this concept. Then these are the class intervals. Another thing is in each class intervals, 2 values are there. First class interval 60 and 62. Second class interval 63 and 65. These values we called as what? Class limits. Understood? Then class interval is 60 to 62. Okay. Then there are 2 values are there. Then these values we called as class limits. Okay. Then first class interval 60 is the lower value. Then we called as lower class limit. 62 is the highest value. Then we called as upper class limit. Now clear? Then move into the second class interval. What is the lower class limit? 63. Upper class limit 65. Okay. Then here when we use the class limits, then what happens? First class interval ending up with 62. But next one is starting from 63. There is a gap. No? Gap is there. Okay. Then when we calculate the summary measures and when we insert the chart, this thing is the disadvantage. Why there is a gap? Then we need to remove this gap, okay, before moving to the further analysis. How we do it? Then we can convert all class limits to the class boundary. Understood? Then how we convert the class limits to the class boundaries? Then we adjust 0.5. Okay. Then here we take the first two, 60 to 62. Then we take 0.5, remove from the lower limit, then add to the upper limit. Then remove 0.5 from the 60. What is the answer? 59.5. Okay, then that value we add to the upper class limit. What is the answer? 62.5. It's clear? Then second one, 63 to 65. Then remove 0.5 from the 63. What is the answer? 62.5. Then we add 0.5 to the 65. What is the answer? 65. Now clear? Okay, then this is the way we can identify the boundaries. Now looking at the boundaries, there is a gap. No any gap. First class boundary ending up with the 62.5. Okay, then what's the lower class boundary in the next one? 62.5. Now we can remove the gap. It's clear? Okay, then these are we called as class boundary. Understood? Okay. Then when we are calculating the summary measures, then we use the class boundaries, not the class limit. It's clear? Then frequency. Now you know number of times each value occurs. That's the meaning of the frequency. Then other thing is, then here ranges are there, groups are there. When we use the group data distribution, we cannot identify the individual values. Then first group, there are 5 students. But we cannot identify each student got how. We cannot say no. Only thing we can say 60 to 62 marks are there. But we cannot say which mark. Okay, in the ungroup one and the data array, we can identify. Then ungroup one, we can identify 5 students got 30 marks. 2 students got 32 marks. Clearly we can identify. But here we can. Therefore, we need to calculate the x value of each class interval. This x value we called as what? Class mark. Okay, then class mark is the midpoint of the each class interval. Middle value of the each class interval. Okay, then we take the first class interval 60 to 62. What is the middle value? 61. Then 61 is the class mark of the first class interval. Here you can use class limits or class bound. Both give same value. Understood? Then how we calculate the average value? Midpoint. Add these two values together, then divided by 2. Then here 60 to 62, 132 divided by 2, 61. Or you can use class boundaries. 59.5 plus 62.5 divided by 2. Same answer you got the 61. It's clear? Okay, then these are the class mark. Then other thing is when we calculate the class mark, we assume, then here 5 students are there, we assume then the 5 students got approximately 61 marks. It's not the real value, but we can assume. Understood? We assume then there are 5 students are there, then each 5 students, all the 5 students got approximately 61 marks. It may be a true or false. We assume. It's clear? Okay, then in the ungroup one, we do not make any assumptions. Why? Individual values are there. It's clear? Okay, then here we need to calculate the representative value of the each class interval. Then we take the first class interval. What is the representative value? 61. Understood? Okay. Then here in other slides, explain all of these. First, explain what's the class boundaries, class mark. Okay. Then other one is class width. Class width means size of the each class. Okay. Then we take the first one, first class interval 60 to 62. Okay. Then how many individual values are there? 60 to 62, 60, 61, 62. How many observations? 3 variable values are there. Then it means size of the first class interval is equal to 3. If you use the class boundaries, you can take the difference between upper and the lower. Then class boundaries 62.5 minus 59.5. What is the answer? 3. But when we are using the class limits, you cannot take the difference only. Then here difference is 2, but the actual size of the class is 3. When we are using the class limits to find the class size, then you need to calculate 60, 61, counting 60, 61, 62. When we are using the class boundaries, then we can take the difference between two values. It's clear? Okay, then these things are important to the next lesson. Okay. Then class width, now you studied. Then class mark. Class mark is the midpoint of the class interval. Then how we find out? Then we add two limits, upper and the lower, then divided by. Then after that, when we finish the calculation part in the class mark, then we use the class mark instead of the class interval. Okay. Now clear? Okay, then these are the components in the group data distribution. This thing is very important to calculate the mean, standard deviation, variance. Then the small activities are there. Then here, try question number 3 and 4. Third question and the fourth questions only. Then only just identify the class boundaries, class limit, size, and things. I think 5 or 10 minutes enough. Okay. Then try. It's clear, no? You can do it, then I will upload it. Third question and the fourth question. I will upload. Okay, teman-teman. Then question number 3, lower and upper limits. Okay, now then question is given the lower limit and the upper limit. First one is first class interval. What is the lower limit? 1. Upper limit is 6. Okay, the normal in the class limit is the limits. Okay. Then we have to calculate the size of the class. 1 to 10, how many observations are there? 11. 1 to 10, no? Not 11, 10, no? 10 observations are there. Okay, then each class has the same class size, no? 10. Then class mark is what? Middle point of the each class interval. What is the first middle point? 5.5, then 15.5, 25.5, 35.5, 45, sorry, 35.5. Then how we find the class mark? Okay, then here class mark first, then each class interval, all the class intervals are in the same class size, no? 10. Size of the class is 10. Then you can easily calculate the class mark. How? Only thing, first initial one you need to find out. 5.5. Then you add size of the class. The next one is 15.5. Next one is 25.5. Understood? When the class size is same in each class interval, first you find out the first class mark. After that you add the size of the class to the previous class mark. Then you can find out the class mark of the each class. Clear? Then class boundaries 0.5 to 10.5. 10.5 to 20.5 is the way we can find. Question number 4, then first one asks, what is the lower limit of the fourth class interval? Here fourth class interval means 45 to 49. What is the lower limit? What is the lower limit in here? 40, 45. These are limits now. What is the class size of each class interval? What is the size of the class intervals? 5. Which class interval has the highest frequency? 40 to 44. Find the class marks for all the class intervals. Here also, every class interval has the same class size. Okay, initially first one we need to find out it's 32. Then we add 5. The next one is 37. Okay, the next one is 42, 47 and 52. Now clear? Understood? Okay. Then next week we will start the summary measures. Okay, then first day we will discuss central tendency measurements and the measures of location, how we calculate and how we interpret the result. Okay, now I uploaded the activity to the LMS. There are 20 MCQs are there from the first lesson to this chapter. Okay, within 40 minutes you can do it. It's not the CA component. As a practice you will do.